Welcome to today's lecture where we're going to talk about passive transport. We're going to talk about what it is and the different types of passive transport within a cell. So the first type of passive transport is going to be diffusion. The second one is facilitated diffusion. And finally, we're going to hit on osmosis. Now, diffusion is just the process of something moving across the cell membrane from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. So what we're going to do is if we have a lot of salts on the outside of the cell, very few on the inside of the cell, we're going to move those salts to the inside of the cell. That's diffusion, just moving from high to low concentration. What we want to reach is what's called equilibrium, where we have equal concentrations on both sides of the cell membrane. And so once they're equal, those particles are going to continue to move in and out of the cell, but they're going to move in both directions at an equal rate. So until we reach equilibrium, we're going to move from that high concentration to the low concentration, and we're going to move that way faster. But once we reach equilibrium, we're going to move in both directions at an equal rate. So we're going to have water moving in and out of the cell at the same time, or salts moving in and out of the cell at the same rate. Okay? Regular diffusion, if we talk just diffusion, for the most part we're talking about things moving through the cell membrane. So O2 and CO2 are pretty much the only things that can move through diffusion. Now, we have a secondary type of diffusion called facilitated diffusion. And facilitated diffusion still requires no energy, but it needs to use those protein channels. Okay? It can't move straight through the cell membrane. So pretty much everything within our cells are going to move through facilitated diffusion. Again, the only things that don't need to pretty much are oxygen and carbon dioxide. Again, we're still moving from a high concentration to a low concentration. We're just moving through those protein channels. Okay? Finally, osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water. It's the diffusion of water. Okay? So water particles moving across the cell membrane. And those are pretty much open protein channels. So the water is going to move through until it reaches equilibrium. It's going to just keep moving through. So passive transport requires no energy. You have diffusion, which is just moving from an area of high concentration to low concentration. Facilitated diffusion, which requires those protein channels. And then osmosis is diffusion of water.